is Stephanie Kim. Stephanie Kim is an 11th grader at Pascack Hills High School. And she's here with her mom, Yi Cho, and Michael Kim. So Stephanie, please come forward. Okay, Stephanie. Last but not least, we saved the best for last, right?
Good evening. My name is Stephanie Kim, and I'm a junior at Pascack Hills High School in Montville, New Jersey. You may remember me from a few months ago, as I gave a speech on the societal expectations of police officers. I stand here in front of you today, 4 months and 6 research papers later, filled with new knowledge and more understanding on how our country's system of law enforcement works and why it's so vital to our society. But before I can get into this, I would like to take this time and thank the US LEC for giving me this opportunity to use this platform and speak out about issues in which I'm passionate about. This program has allowed me to grow in thinking and in comprehension of the world around me, and I am extremely grateful. I would also like to thank our honored guests for being with us tonight. New York Supreme Court Judge Walter, FBI Agent Thomas Masters, and Saddlebrook Chief Robert Cooper. I address you today not as police officers, government officials, lawyers, judges, and more. Rather, I address you as something we all are, people. Regardless of gender, race, vocation, creed, etc., I stand here today as a human being, just like all of you, and I hope you may find solace in my words. In July, if you may recall, I stood before you and discussed the image of police officers in society. Today, I'm here to discuss the same thing, but in a much more nuanced light. To start off, I mentioned that police officers are assigned the role of the protectors in our communities, who valiantly put themselves in danger for the well-being of us everyday people. All this is true. It was true when I wrote the paper, it still is true, and it always will be true. But despite this, the name of law enforcement is villainized and smeared due to many instances of police brutality that have been plaguing our country for many years. I'm not here to pick sides or to preach to you that all police officers are bad or that all police officers are good, because that's quite a broad generalization, isn't it? I like to believe that yes, all police are good, but that's not always the case, especially in the real world. In these cases of police brutality, many of the policemen were at fault. However, you can also flip this and look at it the other way. Not all police officers are bad either. The policemen and women who work hard and make sure that the citizens of the town or city they protect are here to ensure safety. It would be incredibly unfair if I said that all police were evil, especially in front of someone like Chief Kugler, who's so kind and generous and passionate about his line of work. And especially about the policemen who regulate traffic in front of my school, because they're just here to make sure that us students get there safely. And especially because the seniors who just got their licenses are terrible at driving, so you can imagine how much of a nightmare a school parking lot is. But these police officers are here to make sure that we all stay safe. So yes, while bad police officers exist, there are good ones out there too. So it's not really a fair assumption to say that all are bad or all are good. But like many other controversial issues, there has to be a balance. So while perceptions of police officers have shifted in the past few years, changing from seeing them as strong, reliable protectors to, as some media outlets may say, merciless vigilantes, these are simply just results of broad generalizations. Not all police officers are bad, as some believe they are, but there are also some that are in a moral gray area, who are the people who are sworn to protect our lives and of causing harm. And as a result of these occurrences, the only thing that spreads is fear and hatred, leading to deeper divides between the people, the police, and movements such as Black Lives Matter versus Blue Lives Matter. My response to these movements is this: the basic, fundamental, and incredibly obvious truth is that no life is worth less than another. Everyone's lives matter, regardless of whether they're a police officer, Black, white, Asian, Muslim, Christian, or belong to any other specific racial or religious group. However, if the law is violated and an innocent person is shot at and killed, the perpetrator must be held responsible, regardless of who or what they are. If a police officer pulls the trigger against an innocent life, they must be held accountable. However, it can also be the other way around. If a civilian causes harm to a police officer who's simply doing his or her job, they too must face the consequences. Ideally, these shootings shouldn't be happening, but unfortunately, in reality, it happens. So many lives have been lost in the struggle on both sides. How many more will it take before we as a country realize that we need change? What will it take for the reputation of officers in modern society change from bullies with too much power to what they actually are, the guardians and protectors of our communities. It's not like we don't have any solutions. There are so many. One prominent example is the increased use of police body cameras. This solution is viewed favorably upon by both Americans across ethnic groups as well as police. Through the use of these cameras, a police officer's encounters with civilians are recorded, and these records can be used as substantial evidence in case of misconduct instead of trials based on hearsay. These cameras also hold the officer more accountable, as they are aware they are being watched and this data can be accessed at any time. In the aftermath of various shootings, police have begun to use these body cameras to protect both the civilians and the police. And hopefully this is something that will eventually help break the pattern of the numerous avoidable casualties of the people and the police and restore the trust of the people. Another simpler and obviously much less expensive example is a mere change in attitude. People tend to focus on how they are treated by police more than the outcome of that encounter as a whole. So an officer who will treat a person fairly are the ones who will get positive reports. People also pay attention to the officer's demeanor. If they treat the citizen with respect, the citizen will most likely respond in the same manner. While the American ideology of law enforcement officers is wavering, maybe even for the worse, things can be different if people are willing to make a change. There's no such thing as a perfect world, I know that. But think of how much of an impact small acts of kindness can do to reduce misgivings. Police officers are not people to point fingers at or blame, nor are they the people who should make you feel fear and anxiety. Police officers are people, just like you, just like me, and they're the unsung heroes of our communities, maintaining stability in our towns and keeping us safe. While there are many issues between communities and law enforcement, creating power struggles and deep divisions, as I said before, a simple change in attitude can go an extremely long way. If change is needed, and there are more than a few people who believe that it's possible and will work hard to make it a reality, then what's stopping us? The image of the police officer has suffered a great change in the eyes of the media and society. Instances of police brutality aren't helping this case much either. However, those who commit these are only a small percentage of the large group of police officers serving and protecting communities across the nation. Therefore, it would be incredibly wrong to make assumptions and generalizations regarding the entire group based on what a small portion has done. There are also many ways to shift this negative image back to what it really is. A strong example being police body cameras, or even a simple change in attitude. It's hoped that someday people will stop living in fear of officers who are simply going about their day-to-day routines and doing their jobs without any intention of harming innocent people. And that one day people will stop making assumptions about a whole group based on the actions of a few. I would like to close this presentation by thanking all of you for being here and listening. This goes out to the law enforcement officers who are with us tonight. I'm sure that many of you have felt this negativity towards you at least once in your careers, and I sincerely apologize. It's not fair that you have to experience the unpleasantry of being stereotyped when you've done nothing to deserve that blame. You are courageous, selfless people, and I hope that someday the rest of the world will be able to understand this too. I would also finally like to thank the US LEC once again. This opportunity has given me a chance to hone many skills that will prove to be immensely useful in my future, as I plan to pursue a double major in international relations and political science in college, and hopefully a law degree later on. Someday I hope to work towards changing the world for the better, whether that be through working in law or national or international politics, and I hope you can help me reach these goals. Thank you.
Anybody have any comments? Where's your parents, Stephanie? I want to see them. Where are they? Where are you? Oh, there's one. Where's your mama? Okay. You did a wonderful job because she did a wonderful presentation. Stephanie, is there any other comments out there? You want to be a lawyer? Yes. Yeah. All right. Better sit at this table. There's a couple lawyers over here. So Stephanie did a phenomenal job. We appreciate you, the opportunity that you gave us to stand in front of this large crowd. Just that alone, just standing up here and giving a presentation in front of this crowd gets you a passing grade. But your presentation was awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We'll be calling you up here very shortly, so don't get too comfortable in your seat. Well, let's give a round of applause to not only the